4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 73 of Ironhammers Live, your weekly PC gaming podcast being broadcast live every single Sunday at midnight. My name is Bobby Gooden, also known throughout the online realm as Ironhammers, and joining me as ever is for a show that's I think going to be entitled Valve Week, because it's pretty much all we're going to be talking about. Daniel Natman, aka Hardly Dan. How the hell are you, buddy? Do you hear me?
I can hear you fine, and I'm doing alright.
That's what I like to hear, man. How you been? Up to anything exciting?
Got a speeding ticket. Other than that, I was playing games, chilling out. Saw my uncle for the first time in years earlier. That was cool. And
posted some photos of you in a dress on Facebook.
Yeah.
Had to bring it up, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the audio listeners, Dan just raised two fingers up to the webcam. Anyhow, I've had a really hectic week and it is so hot. I've had two nephews staying here along with my daughter, and they've all been kind of on and on all week, although it did play a pretty cool part in a little bit at the end of the show. I'll kind of mention that later. But yeah, a lot of Valve stuff this week, Dan, man.
Yeah, just a bit.
It's like, I was watching my emails this week, and basically, like every 5 minutes, there was just another email from Valve saying, "We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that," and that's pretty much how it played out for about 3 days straight, where they kept announcing random stuff. And let's get straight into the start of it, man, with what we've been up to this week, and we'll start with the Steam Community Beta that they've just released this week. And how are you finding it so far, man?
I really like it. It's really nice. Yeah, I got this pleasant surprise the other day. Gift from you, calling me an old man. Cheers.
It felt appropriate at the time when I'd seen the 1979 Facebook photo.
But yeah, it's I really like the new feel to it. It's great, you know, seeing all those photos popping up and things. Some people don't like it. I guess they're just afraid of change.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could attribute it to, man.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, but just to kind of go over a few of the different parts, I thought we'd kind of go into each little bit. I have posted a video on YouTube. If somebody who's not actually in the beta yet, you can see me kind of playing around with it a little over there. But the new friend feed is obviously what Dan was just referring to with the. It's kind of like a Facebook stream of content. That was the only way I could kind of think of describing it, really, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
Shows all your latest screenshots, what your friends have posted, and all the latest games they've bought, and the latest achievements they've got, and everything like that. It's all kind of information that was in there anyway, isn't it, man? But they've just kind of made it better. Which is basically what they were aiming to do, apparently, was just to showcase content better. Which is what that friend feed really does.
Yeah, really well. I've got some more shots that are going up later on. So, in fact, they're probably there now, come to think of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's really good.
And then you got the game hubs, which is obviously another big part of it. And it's just another way to showcase more stuff, really, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it's just, it all feels so much more slicker than it used to, you know, on the standard Steam.
And it just feels a lot more modern as well. Like, a lot of it was just text before, and now that it's kind of, like, if there's somebody's posted a screenshot, it's a big picture of the screenshot, you can see it all and stuff like that. And if you go to a game hub and then you click screenshots, you can choose like top rated screenshots this week from a particular game, and it comes over like a big page with kind of different shaped pictures, like some are larger, some are smaller, but it kind of, you can see all of them and you can click which ones you want to look at, and you can like thumbs them up and stuff like that if you really like them. And I guess they just, like you say, trying to help the best community stuff get seen, because there's so much on there, and like I say, basically before it was just a list of stuff really, like
Yeah.
a list of text. And also in the game hubs you can see all the latest videos and everything else. But the new discussion boards that are in the game hubs are also great, man. Have you looked at those?
No, not yet. I haven't really had time. I've been too busy getting drunk with my uncle.
Fair play. Basically, it kind of integrates an actual discussion about games, and you can start new threads and stuff like that. I don't know if it is the same as the Steam forums, or whether it's separate, but it looks completely different to the Steam forums. It looks more like a comment thread, like a, say a bit more like Reddit rather than a standard forum, however much Reddit is like a forum, if you know what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
it's all logged in from your Steam account, and you can just go straight in. Because I don't know if you've ever used the Steam forums very much, Dan, but I've always seemed to use them from a browser, like.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Whenever I had a problem, it's always straight to Google.
Yeah, and it comes up with the Steam forums in the browser, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can kind of just click on the actual game, you can go to the game hub, you can see all the latest discussions if anyone else is having the same issue. You're already logged in, if you see someone else is having an issue you've solved, you don't even have to do nothing else, you can just type a comment and add it and it will come up.
Away you go, yeah.
So yeah, that's great, man, I'm loving it so far. And then also there's the green light has been included as a page on there, obviously not active yet, but it tells you quite a bit about it on there, and that's obviously going to be coming soon, which will allow you to rate games and decide which games Steam adds to their store.
Cool.
Can't argue with that.
No, I'm always up for a bit more kind of input from users. It's always nice to, feel like your voice is being, if not heard, and at least read.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, how are you finding it as a whole then, Dan?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm not entirely sure what I expected, but it's absolutely fine. I really can't understand people that don't like it.
Yeah, like I said before, the only
unless perhaps they've got like really crappy internet connections and it takes ages for all the photos and things to load, then that might be understandable.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that. Yeah, I don't have that problem.
No, you don't.
But
you.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. There was one thing that I noticed while I was recording the video of it that I think needs to be tweaked, and it's a tiny little stupid thing that I noticed, but basically if you select recently, say you go to the Game Hubs page where it shows loads of games, and it kind of shows you the top content from those games in a little image thing. It's all kind of quite funky how they do it, very hard to explain if you haven't actually seen it, but you can click on a game, the list of games, and you can sort it by recently played games. So basically they're the ones you're going to be most wanting to look for content for, because it shows like Steam Workshop content and stuff like that as well for actually in the game. And if you sort it by that, it doesn't stay like that, and when you go back it always goes back to like top sold games every time you go back. I found that quite annoying when I was kind of flicking backwards and forwards, because you could like look at the list of games and it would be like, say, Orcs Must Die at the top and Left 4 Dead 2 second, and you click Orcs Must Die, have a look, and then you want to go back to click the next one down on the list, but when you go back it said like Counter-Strike Go or something, and I was like, I haven't been playing that. But it's the most tiny pathetic little thing to moan about. Yeah, aside from that, I'm loving it, man. But moving on, I haven't been really playing much this week because my nephew's been on the computer. I kept him quiet. But what about you, Dan? You've been playing some Lord of the Rings, not online. Well, online, but not Lord of the Rings online.
No, War in the North. Fantastic sale over at Green Man Gaming.
It was mega cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was $3.75, and then there was a 20% off code.
I was going to say, were you clever enough to get the 20% as well?
Yeah, so I got it for £3, and yeah, well worth the money. I played a little bit on my own, and kind of enjoyed that, and then tried playing it today with Steve, JSS Lifelike from the Gamesman, and now I've heard of drop-in, drop-out gaming before, but the amount of time Steve's connection dropped was ridiculous. And it was ridiculous. It was a bit of a pain.
Was it the game, or was it Steve's end, or?
I don't know. It happened a couple of times later on when we were playing Dead Island as well. I don't know if it was his connection, my connection, but something was going wrong. And yeah, quite often he couldn't get back in because it hadn't saved properly. so he'd have to go back a bit, starting fresh from like, the previous save, and his inventory items would have disappeared, or things like that. And yeah, that was pretty damn annoying, especially when my crossbow went. That pissed me off.
Your crossbow went? Where did it go, man?
It just disappeared. I've got no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I had like 3 crossbows, and then came back into the game. I had 1. And it was the crap one I started out with. So yeah, that was pretty damn annoying. But the game itself, yeah, it's good fun. It just seems like another shoddy console port, unfortunately.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel like there's a few issues there.
I didn't buy it in the end. I was going to buy it, and then I've got it on live already, and
Yeah.
that's like really bad to play, and
Yeah.
I just can't do it. But
Yeah.
I kind of thought about buying it when I saw it for that price on Green Man Gaming, and I was thinking, shall I, shan't I? And I completely forgot that it was like co-op. And then I saw you guys saying you were going to play it, and I went back to Green Man Gaming straight away, and it wasn't on offer anymore. Like I just missed it. And I was like, damn it. But yeah, from what I played of it on live, it just seemed like another one of those kind of Lord of the Rings games that came out years and years ago on like the Xbox or something, like the first Xbox. Just like some storyline going along, you kind of just go through it. But I didn't play an awful lot to a lot of it. I rescued an eagle. Did you do that part? I'm assuming. Did you rescue the
That's
eagle?
fairly early on.
Yeah, it's right near the start. That's how far I got with on live before. It was just too annoying trying to actually shoot things with that input lag.
I can imagine. You should try it now. You've got a better connection.
I should try it out now. I've got a better connection, but it will still look fucking awful.
Well, yeah. It does look quite nice on my system. The weird thing is it's absolutely fine running everything on maximum, which is only weird because my rig's so crap. I'm not too sure why it's doing that. In fact, it seems to play better with everything on maximum. As soon as I turned anything down, it was going wrong.
Okay. So it really is a really good port from the console version then.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Top notch there, guys.
Thanks, Warner Bros. I think it was Warner Bros. I don't know who made it. It's Warner Bros.
Oh, isn't that one of the... Didn't it have like loads of different publishers depending on where you bought it, or was that something else?
Oh yeah, I think it might have done actually, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I've got no idea who published it for the PC in Europe. But
Does it use Steamworks? It does, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
So it uses Steam to connect and disconnect via the friends list, or?
Yeah. And
And
it
you
just
having
kept
trouble with
crapping
it?
out.
Ah,
Yeah.
That's unusual, man. Normally it's quite good. When you
Yeah,
use
and
Steam.
you know, we played Dead Island a while back, and for 8 hours and had no problems, and then again tonight we're having problems. So perhaps it's something, you know, the Steam end might have been having a few little hiccups or something. Perhaps with the new beta.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Very observant, Dan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else you've been playing?
Yeah, a bit more Dead Island. We gave up on Lord of the Rings and went back to that. That was good fun. It's such a great fun game. I don't understand, you know, why everyone's... Well, no, I can understand why it got such a slating, because it's really poorly executed. But if you see past that, it's fantastic. But I said a load about that last week. And I've been playing some Darksiders on my phone.
Is it
using
like a
online.
specific... Oh, no, for online. Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was like an actual mobile game, Darksiders.
No. But it's really good, actually, until you get to one point where you have to keep pressing the X button repeatedly, but because of the responsiveness of touch screens, you just can't do it. So that's a bit of a pain, so I've kind of had to stop playing that for now. But I'm going to pick that up on my online console, use the controller, that should be fine.
That should help.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, I think.
Fair play.
Yeah, you wanted to play something, didn't you?
I did, man. It was like, it's one of these things I've been like kind of all week, everything's just been like kind of hectic, and there's been a couple of times when people have been out, and then after the nephews had gone home yesterday and my daughter had gone to bed, and it was just like this quiet, and there's just been a few times like that during the week where I kind of really wanted to get stuck into a single player game, and I was looking down the old Steam list, as you do, you know the feeling, trying to find something, and Arkham City was sticking out every single time. And now I've got this 100 meg internet connection. It was like, probably take 5 minutes to download, no problem, because I hadn't got it installed at the time. And but then there was this sudden, like, little angel on my shoulder saying, "Don't do it, Bobby, man. Don't do it. It's got games for Windows Live." I was like, okay.
You can imagine a little devil like, "Go on, do it, Bobby."
Yeah. And you just know that 5-minute download of Arkham City is going to turn into some massively, extraordinarily long catastrophe of an install using games for Windows Live, and it's just going to hang up and it's going to crash and it's going to keep restarting the game. And I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to even fucking play it.
It's a shame though, because it's a fantastically great fun game.
I know.
I think I still prefer the first one, but yeah, it's damn good.
Yeah, see what I played of Arkham City so far, I kind of prefer the first one as well from what I've seen. I haven't played it right the way through, but yeah, I can't bring myself to do it with Games Windows Live, man. Just can't do it. It's fucking disgusting. It's just the updates, how they work is just so ridiculous, and it catches me off guard every single time, and I'm not going to let it happen again. Maybe I'll do it when there's like a day when I've got absolutely nothing else to do. Then perhaps I'll do
I'll
it.
see that coming soon.
Set a day aside. It's kind of like reinstalling Windows. You know, you kind of set a day aside for it, but this is just to install a game. Yeah. Anyhow, is there anything else you want to mention, man?
No, not that I can think of. I haven't really been playing a huge amount recently. But no, yeah, I think I'm done.
We'll leave it there then, and we're going to take a very quick break. And when we return, we'll go through some PC gaming news and some random but nerdy stuff. It's just shit we want to talk about, basically. We'll see you in a sec, people. And we are back, everybody. Sorry if I'm giggling a little. Dan's been trolling me with Skype in the... he's just done it again, like, if you're watching the video feed. I was complaining about this before the show, this little status bar that comes up on Skype at the bottom, which has the hang up button and stuff like that. And it keeps getting stuck on, and I can't get it to go away. Normally it minimises by itself. And then I discovered it was because Dan was sending me messages in Skype, and that makes it so it doesn't go away. And every time I got rid of it, he started trolling me by sending another message. But on to this week's PC gaming news, man. First up, Charm Worlds have announced that... I thought it was interesting, kind of, just because it was something that World of Warcraft done. I see Dan's hands going towards his keyboard, and I'm worrying now. But yeah, they're gonna release a Stormbringer expansion, and like I say, I thought it was kind of interesting because Blizzard did the same thing with World of Warcraft, kind of with Diablo, but slightly different. Whereas you could subscribe to WoW for a year and get Diablo for free, and Rift are doing a similar deal where you subscribe for a year and you get the Storm Legion expansion for free. So if you're going to be playing the game anyway and you're planning to play the expansion, it seems worthwhile buying a year subscription, because you're probably going to be playing it for a little while, considering the expansion isn't out yet. It should come out within that year. I don't know when the release date is. But yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting that more people are doing that kind of thing. The only thing I didn't like about this one was, with WoW you just had to commit to a year subscription, and with this one you have to pay a year outright. Which isn't so perfect. It's like 70 something pound, but if you're playing it anyway and you've got the cash, slap it down and get the expansion for free. Or if you haven't got quite £71, you could buy a game for £1.
Yes.
Maybe, because I think the deal finished today, so you might be able to do it if you're listening live. But it's still worth talking about anyway, because Ubisoft have of course released their own kind of store, which they've kind of had before, but they've kind of redone it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Basically, at Gamescom a couple of days ago, they announced this Uplay PC, which is kind of like Steam and Origin app that sells games and connects to the Uplay community for in-game achievements. Woo.
Yeah, before they had the Ubi shop, didn't they, where you could download from the website, but now it's like an actual client, basically like Origin, but Ubisoft's version. And
to encourage people to uptake games, play it, use it, they're offering PC versions of Driver San Francisco, From Dusk, Silent Hunter 5, Tom Clancy's Hawks for £1.
Except you can now only get Driver San Francisco for, I don't know if it's still even available in the UK, but because it was like each day was a different game for like the last 4 days.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was, man, I went to buy Driver San Francisco today. Like I wasn't necessarily going to buy it because I didn't want to install this Ubisoft shit, basically. I hate on Ubisoft every single week on this show, and it would kind of be like a bit ridiculous if I started buying games from them as soon as they release them just because it was £1. But I went and had a look at least, and so I clicked on Driver San Francisco, and I was kind of like trying to work out what the DRM and stuff like that was, but it's obviously all tangled up in this client thing. But on the page, it didn't mention DRM at all, didn't say anything, didn't say you had to download a client or anything until you like kind of looked into the whole thing as a whole. And there was no mention of minimum requirements, although I'm kind of confident they would run, but you'd think it was at least on there. And then so I kind of started clicking through the different games that were available on there, and some had minimum requirements, some didn't, some had something about DRM and always online connections and that shit, some didn't. And yeah, the shop just looks like a bit of a mess, basically. Like it just doesn't have the information you need to make a purchase, really. Unless it's for £1 and you're not worried about losing £1. But also it auto plays trailers with sound on every single page that has a trailer. So it kind of, I hate that.
That really pisses me off. Sometimes you just want the information, nothing else.
Yeah, you don't always want to watch a trailer. And I like how Steam always does it, so it's always muted when it starts, and you can unmute it if you want to listen to it. And you can, that's great, because if you're doing something and it comes up, you can see the trailer happening, you can see a little bit of the game. You don't have to have your like ears blasted off.
Yeah. Well, Stephanie Perotti from the worldwide director for online games at Ubisoft said, Uplay is a great way for customers to discover how Ubisoft games connect with their friends and gaming communities, and win achievements and content that's not available anywhere else.
Unless you're always online using our crappy
Yeah. And then goes on to say, for PC gamers that are already fans of Ubisoft titles or have been considering buying some of our classics, this promotion is a great deal and our way of saying thank you for their support. Yeah, you'd probably get more if it was easier to play your game.
You probably would, and if you actually put the relevant information on your store pages before you launch it.
But yeah, apparently the Uplay service has over 35 million registered members.
That's because nobody has a fucking choice every time they buy a Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it's probably just like several people that have got lots of their games.
They forgot their passwords because they really don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That might be a bit harsh, but Ubisoft are selling PC games now. They're just copying EA by the looks of it, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, apparently, according to Dave Stevenson, the sales director for VIPs, reckons we're on the cusp of a PC gaming renaissance.
I see it coming years ago.
Yeah.
Ironhammers was born.
He goes on to explain why the PC is still a popular choice for gamers, saying, when people think about the video games market, they automatically think of home consoles such as the 360 and PS3 and the Wii. These are now reaching the peak of their performance, and games look dated when compared to their counterparts on the PC. The PC remains a solid platform for gaming, and recent sales figures are continuously showing an upwards trend. Yeah, because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
And my console's gathering dust. I kind of fear to turn it on. I think it's probably going to red light on me as soon as I do.
That'd be the best thing that ever happened to you, Dan. You'd be free. Free at last.
Yeah. Yeah,
Turn it on now.
Money. It went on earlier. I wanted to use one of my controllers for War in the North because it plays better with the controllers.
Unfortunately, because it's a lot of aiming, isn't it? Like it would be good if it played well with a mouse and keyboard.
Well, it's dodgy port again. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and some of the buttons seem a bit weird on the keyboard. I could just remap it all, I suppose. But I can't be asked.
You shouldn't have to do that, though, Dan.
No, I shouldn't have to. But
people should
it's
accommodate our needs.
Yeah, bastards.
It was £3 something. It's alright, man.
Yeah, it was £3. And I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm going to play it when I've got some time. Just maybe not with other people. I bought Lee a copy. So I might play with him.
You can try.
Yeah. But yeah, according to this guy, we're right on the cusp of a renaissance of PC gaming.
Let's hope so. It definitely looks like it, man. You look at like Gamescom and stuff, man. Like happened this week. So many PC games, man. So many free-to-play games as well. Like, and they're all PC free-to-play games because consoles just don't accommodate for that whole business model.
Yeah, it's there's one free-to-play game I can think of on the PS3. But I can't remember the name.
DC Universe Online.
Oh, there's two.
But I don't think that was intended to be free at the beginning. So
no. There's
it.
that other one that ties in with the PC game. Can't remember what it's called. I'm sure Steve knows what I'm talking about. Perhaps if I was looking at the chat, I'd been able to see the
Dust 514 or something?
Yeah, that's the one.
I know the one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if it doesn't have a renaissance, I'll be right here, Dan. Right here in front of my PC.
Every Sunday night.
Every Sunday night. So let's go back to talking about Valve, seeing as that's what we said at the beginning of the show we were mostly going to be talking about. Turned out, probably percentage-wise, we weren't mostly talking about Valve, but they got the biggest mention out of any developer. So let's get back to it. They've announced Portal Co-op Puzzle Maker update. For Portal 2, it will allow you to build co-op levels now, because you couldn't do that before apparently. I've never tried to build a level because it would be an epic fail, so I don't really know much about it. But you can build co-op levels now apparently, and there's also a quick play feature to launch the top rated user map, so you can just press it and it will choose one of the top rated ones for you to play. Great way to discover more user generated content. Valve's focus of the week, guys.
Yeah.
And along with that, they've also given everybody who owns Portal 2 a 75% off voucher to give to a friend, so that they can buy the game cheap and play your co-op levels that you made.
Which is brilliant, but I don't know anyone that hasn't actually got Portal 2.
Well, that's the only problem. I can't find anybody to give it to.
So
although I may have thought of somebody, just as you said that, actually. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, if anyone else wants my voucher, hit me up. Because I don't need it.
I'm sure
I've already got it.
That's why you have the voucher, Dan.
Indeed.
And also, Valve spoke of their big picture mode this week, going into beta soon, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one, man.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I kind of don't need it, and almost already use it, because everything's hooked up to my telly anyway.
Yeah. See, I've got this. Obviously, got this computer, and I've got another computer on the TV in the living room. So for that, I'm kind of really looking forward to it. At the moment, I just use Steam anyway, and use my phone as a little remote, and plug the Xbox controller in or something. It's all good.
Yeah.
Or if worst comes to worst, and you've got two nephews to occupy, put the mouse and keyboard on the floor, and kids don't mind too much. They was just sitting and play it. Put the other nephew on the other game, and let them both play Left 4 Dead 2 together. And then suddenly realised it's a terrible mistake because their means of communication is shouting through the whole house to one another to inform them that there's a spitter coming. And yeah, anyway, it was quite funny anyway.
Oh man.
It's just all about Valve, isn't it, man?
It is. Yeah.
And they've also released a man versus machine co-op horde mode for TF2. I think it's like a 5-player TF2 thing. Horde mode. I don't know. Have you played it yet, Dan? I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
No, I haven't, but I really should. I have barely touched Team Fortress 2, to be honest. So yeah, I really need to kind of get into that, have a look.
Troll in the chat room says he was playing it earlier and it was awesome. So
fantastic. There you go,
covered.
straight from the troll's mouth.
We're done. And I don't think there was any. There was something else from Valve that announced the 2nd annual Saxy Awards, which is this time going to be using the new Valve filmmaker, whatever they call it, Source Filmmaker. I can't remember the name of it. I think I'm right, Source Filmmaker. But yeah, it's going to be kind of a contest for filmmakers using Source, which they apparently did last year. But yeah, a lot of stuff from Valve. Aside from that, I don't think there's any other news to talk about. There is the OnLive stuff that happened yesterday, but I don't know about it, so I don't really want to talk about it too much. But I heard that everybody at OnLive had been sacked and they were closing down, and then they weren't closing down, and then people had been seen leaving the building with all their possessions, and then someone else had bought it. I don't know what was happening. It was all speculation. Do you know the specifics, Dan?
I can't remember how many people, but most of the employees got the sack, and a few of them got to stay on with the parent of the company that's just bought OnLive. Unfortunately, their deal didn't sound like it was very good. It was something along the lines of pay in stock options, which were worthless. So, hardly surprising that most of them walked. But the service is still working because I've been using it a lot recently. So, yeah, I think.
So there's a lot of panic over nothing, really. Although quite a few people have unfortunately lost their jobs.
Few jobs gone, and yeah, it does kind of spark fear in the kind of community. You don't want to be buying games with the chance that you might not be able to play them in a few months' time.
Yeah, and I think that makes it into a downward spiral from here on, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Steve's just put something up in the chat asking if it's a direct response to Sony's Gaikai purchase, or are they having trouble figuring out how to monetize online?
I think they're having trouble with people wanting to use it, man. There was a big fuss about it when it first came out, and when they were selling games stupid cheap, giving away free consoles to everybody and stuff like that. But it just never quite worked right, man. Like, how can you get rid of that input lag? I can't unsee it. Like, I just can't unsee it. It's impossible. Like, there's always input lag. Like, the laws of physics tell me that you cannot defeat this problem.
Yeah. It obviously, it is an issue, and I've noted it a few times when I've been playing. But there are some games where it doesn't matter quite so much.
There are a lot of games on there where you can kind of get away with it. But I think this all stems from the first game that I bought and started playing on it being Dirt 3.
Oh yeah.
So firstly, you're driving along at 100 miles an hour, and the screen's refreshing like 5 million times a second, and OnLive just cannot do it, and it just turns into a. You know when the upload speed goes a bit funny on Skype video and it goes all squarey and funny? That was how Dirt 3 looked most of the time, except when I crashed and I was not in motion anymore. Then it cleared up a little.
Yeah, and it's a really hard game to play at the best of the game.
Yeah. It's not easy to control the cars anyway. So when you add a millisecond even of input lag, it just all goes tits up.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but yeah, until we get some kind of time machine broadband, it's not really going to work, is it?
OnLive need to be able to predict my motions on the controller and compensate for the input lag. I don't know. Shall we move on to something a little bit random and a little bit nerdy, Dan?
Yeah, go on.
I'll let you go first with the Doctor's birthday. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's the I've forgotten which bloody one it is now. Sylvester McCoy, the 7th Doctor in Doctor Who. It's his birthday today, so happy
Ah.
birthday to you.
That makes sense now.
Yeah. So yeah, random and nerdy.
Random Eddie. Perfect, man. That's perfect. You like this section, don't you, man?
I do, yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about something to do with lasers now.
Woohoo.
Not quite the lasers you might be thinking of. I played laser tag this week, Dan, and it was so much fun, and I totally owned everybody.
Nice.
And it was great. Yeah, I think all my FPS gaming in the past kind of helped a lot. Maybe I took it a little bit too seriously.
You're crouching and...
Yeah, man, they had like barrels to hide behind and everything, man, and like little windows to pop up through. It was so much fun. Like, I thought it was going to be a little bit shit, but then as soon as I walked into the dark place and someone gave me a gun that shoots a laser, I was sorted. It was all good.
Like,
I
yeah,
was like,
go on then.
Yep. Like trying to run away as he starts the game. I'm like, no, they fucking shoot me. Oh, it was great fun.
Yeah, I played it years ago in Bristol, and it was great fun.
See, I haven't played it since I was like really young, and that's why I kind of thought, yeah, it's not going to be like as fun as it was before. It turns out shooting people with lasers is just always fun, no matter what age you are. So yeah, if you've got a laser tag place near you, anybody, just go. It's just fun. It's just fun.
Although not as fun as paintball.
No, not as fun as paintball because you don't actually get to hurt anybody.
Yeah, and that kind of fear of getting hurt kind of ramps it up a little bit as well.
It does a little bit. Although I wasn't wanting no one to shoot my gun, man, because if they shot me, then you get like 3 or 4 seconds where you can't shoot back. And that was pretty important to me, man. I was all killing. There was a point where I killed everybody and I was just standing there and all their guns were disabled and I just ran off. It was well fun. I was loving it. I was loving it a little bit too much. So before I make myself sound any more like a 5-year-old, Dan, let's get even more nerdy with the Raspberry Pi. You want to give us an update on that from last week? What have you been doing with that?
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned last week I couldn't get it to work on my old telly. And
you did say you had a problem.
Yeah, a couple of days, a day or so after the show, I went through the forums again and found a nice little edit for one of the files in the for the config file, and now it'll play on any telly. It's fantastic. So yeah, I got it back on my big telly upstairs, streaming stuff to lie in bed and watch. It's fantastic. I've been watching a lot of Battlestar Galactica. I've been really nerdy. But yeah, it's fun. It's brilliant. If you haven't got a Raspberry Pi yet, get one. It's brilliant.
And for the price, there's really not any reason to not buy one. I think I just totally used the double negative there, but...
Yeah. Maplins are going to be selling it for 70 quid. That comes with a USB keyboard and mouse, 4-port powered hub, Wi-Fi adapter, and the Raspberry Pi with the operating system.
That's not a bad deal.
That's pretty damn good. And then you can get a case for it for 12 quid.
I was going to ask, are they selling cases for them yet? I guess they are.
Yeah, there's quite a few ways of doing it. You can go to one of those, I can't remember what they're called, those places you can go and use like the laser cutters and the CND machines. And there's a free design that you can get for, and if you just have to buy the materials at the place, you can build one for a couple of quid. I just can't remember the name of those places. But yeah, it's like a giant workshop that you can borrow everything. Yeah, so yeah,
going somewhere to blag a piece of perspex one time for a case window in a PC. On the local industrial estate, just going with my mate, and he wanted to buy it. This was the same time that he nearly cut my thumb off. I don't know if that's a story I've told before, but he was using a hole saw to try and cut a hole in the top of a case, a metal PC case, to put a fan in it, and I told him, "Don't worry, Dave, I'll hold it." So I'm holding this case fan, which is like probably 8 inches wide, and it was a 120mm hole saw for a 120mm fan, and it slipped, and I have teeth mark shaped scars on my thumb to show for it.
Nice.
But yeah, we got a free piece of perspex to use in the window. By blagging it, we're like, yeah, but it's just a little bit. Surely there's nothing you could possibly do with that, because they like make like greenhouses and stuff or something. And surely you can give us a little tiny bit. And in the end, they did, and we was like, bonus.
Cool.
free window for the PC case. This was a long time ago though.
Yeah. Now they've all
Probably
got
won't be
Windows.
so generous now. Now they've all got Windows in. Although I've been debating whether to put one into mine. I don't know whether I can be bothered. It's been a long while, and my case is pretty sexy already.
I've been looking at some new cases as well.
Yeah, I was looking for a smaller one, but then I realised I'm not going to do it. I love my case. So forget it.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dan?
No, I think that's it. I think I'm spent.
You're spent. I'm spent. Completely. I don't know if you can actually see how much I'm shining. Thankfully I turned this light off so you probably can't see it so much, but I am so wet, it is unbelievable. It's disgusting, it is so hot. And on that note, I think call it a day, man.
Yeah, you've just made me feel quite ill.
It'll be alright, man. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. So where can people find you on the internet, Dan?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, Hardly Dan. I'm on the Gamesman just about every week, so you check out thegamesman.com.
Do that,
good
and it's
community
been
over
nicely
there.
redesigned as well. Good job.
Yeah,
Steve.
I've got forums now, not that anyone's used them yet, so if you want to talk about some games to someone that isn't myself or Bobby, you can always have a look at the Gamesman, where we do shout-outs every week as well.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
Yeah.
On which note, you've also reminded me, Raid Call. Oh
Oh,
I
yes,
need to mention
Raid
it.
Call.
I don't know if everyone's familiar with Raid Call. Stumbled upon it a little while ago. They started sponsoring the StarCraft team. Apparently it's been out for quite a while, but it's basically like TeamSpeak or what's the other one called? Ventrilo or Mumble, and but it's free to get servers on it. So we've got an Ironhammers server on there. We can have as many people in there at a time as we want. We can create as many channels as we want. We can do whatever we want with it. And hopefully it's got quite a nice text chat system as well as voice chat system, so if you just want to pop out and see if there's anyone about to play a game or something, if you don't necessarily want to voice chat with people, come in, hang out, and I'm going to basically try, I haven't got it running right now, but I'm going to try, because I'm doing a podcast, but I'm going to try and have it running pretty much most of the time, so if you ever want to come in and chat. I know Dan's using it as well, so come along.
Yep.
All you have to do is go to raidcall.com and download the software, and then just go to the channel's little search box and just type in Ironhammers and you should find it there. If not, there is a little code you can put in, like a 6-digit number or something that will take you straight to it if you're having trouble finding it, but you should be able to find it just by looking for Ironhammers. If not, go to Twitter and type in @Ironhammers and ask me and I'll try and help. And that covers my Twitter address as well. Aside from that, Google Plus, we've got a new page over there.
Yeah, lovely shiny Google Plus
I love Google
page.
Plus, man, so more people get over there and get on it, because I really do like it, man. It kind of does what Valve are doing in the new Steam thing. It's got a really great way of showcasing photos and videos and stuff like that. Yeah, I love Google Plus, and I love the way you can format all the posts and stuff with bold text and all that kind of stuff. It's just really nice. To have a bit of freedom. It's a nice, complete opposite to the 140 characters of Twitter.
Yeah.
I love both for their own reasons. But on that note, I think we're done, Dan.
Yep.
So thanks everybody that came along in the chat room, and thanks for not spending the whole hour or so, however long it's been, discussing my beard this week. They've gotten used to it, and hopefully they'll forget about that for future episodes. So the title of the show this week will be something to do with Valve. We'll try and think of something clever, and we'll see you all next Sunday at midnight. Thanks for joining me, Dan.
That's been a pleasure.
And thanks to everyone for listening once again, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.